Hey friends, I'm Lisa, Little Annie Z. This is my mom and my Flosstube channel. My mom is Mama Z, and I'm here to share probably a very short video on what I have fully finished, what I have collected as far as charts and linen, and I also want to do a linen comparison since I've been on the search for like my perfect go-to linen. I've tried so many, and I'm just going to share my opinions with you. And I'll jump right in. So first I want to share my FFOs. I've been doing all Christmas stitching. I don't have any whips to show you because I really haven't done much on them. I did get little bits of the Agnes Platt sampler that I've been working on and the Beach Boardwalk, but not enough to really share with you. So next time. But I wanted to share I worked on Merry Christmas by Blackbird Designs, and this was such a fun stitch, and it's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. So this is what I decided to do with it. I know I told you last time when I was working on it that I was going to magnetize it, but I loved this book finish. This is called Every Woman's Guide to China, Glass, and Silver. Very old book that I purchased at a library book sale. And I'm probably just going to sit it on my display, my Christmas display. So I have a library card, and I'll share how I finished it. So this is on 32 count Belfast dirty linen. I don't know if that's considered the manufacturer or the maker, but I don't think so. It got cut off on the label. I used various amounts of over dyed cotton floss, some called for, some not called for. I did substitute some, and I discussed that in the last video on how I came to mostly the colors in the border. So let's see if you could see. I have my husband's initial and my initial there at the bottom. And then oh yeah, okay, so right here is the year 2000, and that was my husband and my first Christmas together. So that's the date that I put on the sampler, and I really like the book finish. I think it's super cute. Merry Christmas by Blackbird Designs. And then my next finish, excuse me, let me take this out, is Merry Christmas by Annabella's Needleworks. It's a simple samplers. Now, when this was a PDF download, so if you want to download this from her Etsy shop, just know that it comes out super small. I actually had to message her to send me an 8x10. I couldn't even see the grid on it. It was very difficult the way it was printed up. So she sent me the 8x10 version of it so I can print that, and that's what I worked from. So I used the floss colors that I used for my previous finishes of Primrose Cottage, And I showed these all the last time. So these were stitched with licorice red, ye old gold, and 4-leaf clover, all from Classic Colorworks. I'm not sure if this is how I'll keep them displayed for Christmas, but that's how I wanted to show you today so you can see how I finished this little sampler. So I only use 3 colors, those same 3 colors for this little sampler. And everything that I'm stitching is on 25 count barley by Lori Holt Vintage Cloth. And this sampler, just to give you an idea, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, calls for 6 colors, but I only use 3. And I finished it on one of these boards that has a gold clip on it. This is from Michaels. It's in there, it's called Mini Clipboard Frame Whitewash. And it was in their like wood section. And so this is how I finished it. It's a tiny, tiny little sampler because I did it over 1 on the 25 count Lori Holt Vintage Cloth in barley. It's super cute, and I will display it with this. So it all coordinates. So what I did was I took the gold clip off, which actually was here. It left a hole at the top. So I mounted this with the cross-stitch tape from Fat Quarter Shop. It's a double-sided cross-stitch tape. Excuse me, I'm getting messages as I'm talking to you. And I just stitched it over 1. I pressed it all to the back and then mounted it on here with that cross-stitch tape. And then I hot glued this little ribbon on here. Now I'll show you how I did it. I just made 2 loops and then hot glued that on. And then I made a small little loop and glued that on top, so it looks like an actual tied bow. So it's really 2 pieces of ribbon. I modified this stitch a little bit because I didn't put in all the little doodads. You can see there's a lot more on this sampler than I included. But I knew it was going to be small, so I really just wanted it to be simple. So I just love how tiny that came out. Okay, and then the last one that I stitched was Christmas Quaker by Primrose Cottage. And I did mine a little bit bigger than their finished piece. I did mine again on the 25 count Lori Holt Vintage Cloth in barley. This I could not put down. It was so much fun. I've never done a Quaker before. I absolutely loved it. And I loved how they finished theirs with, I think, with walnut shells, crushed walnut shells, and I loved that idea. So this is my finished piece. It's about 6 by 6 on the 25 count. I did this with the Classic Colorworks Licorice Red, and then I made these, I'm calling them poinsettia counting pins to embellish it. This is just, it feels so nice. And I backed it with this fabric from Tasha Noel Quilt Fair, I believe is the fabric line. And then I just trimmed it with some rickrack that matched the front, This is a little bit of an ivory color. It's not a true white, as you probably can tell from the fabric is true white. So, and I'm going to show you that in a little bit. I love it. I love it. Okay. So now I'll move on to share with you what I have been collecting as far as charts go. And then I'll move into my linen. So chart-wise, I got the Grateful, Thankful, Blessed from Brenda Gervais. And this is a lot bigger than I thought it was. And I've heard people say that that house is going to be, those who have stitched it, that house was a lot to stitch. But I think it's super cute. I'm trying to get more Thanksgiving charts. And so maybe next year I'll try that. And then I downloaded this by Erin Elizabeth, and it's called Gather and Be Grateful. I love that. Her charts are so cute. I haven't stitched any yet, but I've been collecting them. And then I got the new Peppermint and Holly book by Blackbird Designs. Oh my goodness. I love everything in this. I just love everything in this. If you're on the fence and I'm sure if you're a Blackbird lover, you've probably already have this or have ordered it, but I'm so glad they reprinted it. It's been in my favorites on Etsy for a long time. And when I saw that they were releasing a reprint, I jumped on that. And this was, this is a Little House Needleworks chart. And I can't remember if this was a free one or if okay, it says, it's called Sweet Little Berries. And it says it's an old pattern that was once only available in shops with the purchase of threads. So somebody had posted this, and I went on the website, I think, and downloaded it. Okay, so they decided to publish it on their blog, I'm pretty sure, or on their website. So it could be free if you want to look. It came from littlehouseneedleworks.com, but I like that a lot. That would be cute for the springtime. Deep in the field, under bright sunny skies, grow sweet little berries for jellies and pies. Love that. And then lastly, I want to share a little bit with you on this sampler. This is a really special sampler. It's called this Sarah Janiliat 1807 sampler. And this is the original antique, and it was reproduced by somebody in my guild, a couple members of my my stitching guild. So that's why this is so special. It was a couple years in the making, and there's a whole story here about it. But basically, this is really interesting if you enjoy history and sampler reproduction history. Let's see, this was stitched originally by a little girl on coastal Georgia. She was 8 years old when she stitched it, and it's one of 8 samplers that were worked before 1809. One of 8. There's 29 known samplers that were stitched, I believe, in Georgia. between 1763 and 1843. So this survived the Civil War, and it was passed down through generations, and the family that finally ended up with it donated it to the Roswell Historical Society, and in conjunction with our guild, it was reproduced so that people can, and the original sampler is displayed at the Historical Society. So it's super special to get this. I won't go into all of the facts about this sampler, but if you're interested in this, I'll find out how you can order it. I'm not sure. So let's see. If you're familiar with Georgia and the Atlanta area and the plantation homes that are in historic Roswell, this sampler has connections to Barrington Hall, if you're interested in that. So anyway, I'm so excited to have this and stitch it. It's in 2 colorways. The faded colorway on the front, and then of course the back side, there's also threads for the back side, the brighter threads that didn't fade because it was covered up. So anyway, super cute and beautiful, and very special to us that live here in the same area that this antique is displayed. Okay, so now I wanted to get into my linen that I collected this past month, and I have, let's see, 3 or 4 pieces to share with you. So I did buy more Lori Holt vintage cloth barley because I've been using it so much in my Christmas stitching. Dames of the Needle posted on Etsy that she had some pieces of Lakeside linen. So I had never purchased Lakeside linen before. So these are the 2 that I've gotten. This one is Fawn, and this one is Vintage Magnolia. It's like a yellow creamy color. And then I also purchased Fiber on a Whim Affogato. It's has very little green in this piece here. And I was kind of happy about that because I'm not really a fan of the green splotches if I want a brown, but I was fortunate enough to get a piece that didn't have much of that in there. And then I tried a Bee Stitch Me fabric, and this is called One More Reproduction. Jen's Stitching Niche on Etsy had these 2 pieces. So I wanted to share with you my linen comparison that I've been doing. So I've been stitching like probably for 3 years now, and have had a lot of opportunity to try different fabrics. Everybody was so excited about Lakeside linen, and so I bought some of that to try. And it is beautiful linen. It's very very consistent throughout, very pliable, I guess you can say. Doesn't really, it's not super soft, but I can see why people really love this linen. So I want to tell you though that Picture This Plus, I think, is my favorite. I love the feel of it. It's soft to the touch. And I like that. Fiber on a Whim, Grace Notes Fabrics, Fox and Rabbit, Lakeside, to me, are all the same quality. That's just my opinion. And I'm telling you this because in case you're new to stitching and you are looking for something that you really like, that's the purpose of me telling you my thoughts and my opinions on that. And then as far as linen goes, Witchelt is not my favorite. I used to stitch on it when I first started all the time, but it's very stiff and I don't prefer it. But I do have some in my linen library, and I will pull from that if the stitch calls for something like that. Now, Ada Fiber on a Whim is very soft and pliable, and I do like the feel of Fiber on a Whim Ada. And then there's Davos, that all of the older Prairie Schooler Santas were stitched on. It's very soft and pliable, nice softness to the touch, and that's one of my favorites to stitch on too. I don't have any here to show you. And then the Lori Holt Vintage Cloth, whatever color you choose in the 25 count, is very soft. It's very soft to the touch. It's very pliable. I don't know what other word to use besides pliable, but I really do like this, and I bought her cloth in different colors. So that's my opinion about all the different linens that I've personally tried. I would love to know your thoughts on linens. If there's something, I'd like a nice soft linen. What do you like? I would love to know what your preferences are, and because I'm still learning and seeing what's out there, and I know there's more and more makers and dyers out there of linens that I'm sure haven't even tried or heard of. But anyway, that's all I had to share with you today. I hope that you have a wonderful time stitching this weekend, and I'll look forward to being with you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.